In the description below this video, there are links to most of the items used in many of my videos. They are there so you can locate them in case you are interested. You may remember a couple of these photos from a previous video I did that came from a boat that Bob, another Twin Troller owner, owned that had water protrusion into the hull. Well, Bob sent me more information about how he got water inside the boat enough that he submerged his pedals to his twin troller and what happened then. So watch this and see, in case you ever consider not taking care of your twin troller pedals. You might be surprised at what you'll find. Hi, Frank and Gerry. I found another twin troller leak. This one was my fault. I added 2 kayak drain plugs on the back of each pontoon. I thought it was odd that they did not come with washers, so without washers, I went out on the water yesterday, and sure enough, water got into the hulls. It was also a rough day, so water was splashing in the boat as well. By the time we got back to the boat ramp, we had ankle-deep water, and the transom was slightly underwater. The good news is the twin troller, unlike the Titanic, is truly unsinkable. I fixed the kayak plugs with garden hose washers and proved the results with another vacuum/smoke test. The bad news is I fried both pedal controllers at the boat ramp, with me, 250 pounds, out of the boat at the dock. My grandson, 85 pounds, was driving towards the trailer from the front seat when the water rushed forward towards the front pedal position and shorted them out. They even began to smoke, that unusual telltale electrical burn smell, and once we got the boat on the trailer, before I could disconnect the battery cables. So I learned an expensive lesson. Keep the pedals out of standing water. I just ordered a bilge pump. I saw your video, Gerry, and clearly one is not supposed to submerge the twin troller pedals, but I think I can do a better job than the factory does with their sparse silicone inside the aluminum housing box. There also is no silicone where the open bottom of the box is riveted to the base pedal, nor did they seal where the connector comes through the front or where the control arm penetrates the side. I'll take more pictures when I get the new controllers and will show you where I will improve the water protection. Bob. At this point, I wrote back to Bob and asked him if this is salt water, and he replied, yes, it was salt water. I thought it would be calm yesterday, but the wind from the south was whipping up the intercoastal pretty fierce. Later, the replacement parts arrive, and our story continues. Bob writes, hi Gerry, new parts arrived today, so here are a few pictures and my plan to seal the control boxes to the pedals and a few spots on the control boxes themselves. My comments will be under each of the following photos. The old box on the left and the new one is on the right. In the upper left area of the old box photo, you will notice applied silicone. The new box omitted this step. I think the reason is the new box has a longer outside weld than the old. You can see that in the next picture. That is the old box on the left, and you can see the longer seam weld on the new box. I will still silicone caulk the inside seam as added protection. Even though the connector has a gasket on the inside of the box, I will silicone caulk the outside between the nut and the box to simply prevent the plastic nut from backing off. The speed direction control potentiometer device does not have a gasket, so I will apply a thin layer of silicone here as well. If you look closely, you can see light coming through where the throttle bracket connects to the potentiometer. 2 dabs of caulk will go here. Last and probably most important, I will silicone the entire bottom of the box before riveting it back in place to the pedestal base. Let me know if you have any questions. Bob. Bob, I guess I do have a question, but it might be more of a statement. It appears that you have sealed the entire box quite well, and I'm concerned that possibly condensation could form inside the box. Again, moisture with electronics, maybe not such a good idea, but I don't know that either of us know what that answer would be, so you may just have to try that and see what happens. Either way, Bob, you did a great job here. You used some common sense about how to deal with this, and you did a thorough job in getting it done. I'm sure other of us that own twin trollers always wondered what it would be like if we got our pedals completely submerged, since Freedom Electric tells us don't ever do that. So maybe we've all learned something today. Thanks again, Gerry. This is for all you twin troller owners up north, huddled around a wood stove, waiting for spring. I took it behind the house just this past week. This is Melbourne Beach, just last week, in Central Florida. That's 2 old guys, retirees, that used to work together, walking along the beach, reminiscing about the bad old days. Let's change subject matters.
This is the trailer ball on the back of my tow vehicle. This, when the trailer is sitting on it, is fairly level. However, if you look at this in this picture, the bottom skeg, if you will, on the trailer, just behind the trailer coupling, often hits the ground at the end of the driveway, or I backed this boat onto the lawn at one point and it actually dug up my lawn. So I need to raise this up. Well, how will I do that? Well, this little mechanism here keeps this from rattling, because not every receiver is the exact same size as the trailer hitch. I put this on and it keeps it from rattling. It would actually shift a little bit that way and this way every time I went forward or backward, or if I hit a bump, this would rattle up and down. That's what this is designed to do. It's made just for doing that. So I have to take this off, undo the lock, pull the receiver out, flip it upside down. That means that this ball's got to be on the other side. And that's what I'm going to do right now, is take the ball off, turn that upside down, and put the ball back on. That should give me the difference between the bottom of the ball being at this height or it being up about this high. So let's see how it looks when we get done. Okay, I got the ball off, but it wasn't easy. I'm going to put this back on because the ball's got a lot of grease on it. What I have to do to get it off, I used this pipe wrench, 14-inch, to hold the ball, while I use this much bigger pipe wrench, I think it's 24-inch, to get it off. And believe me, it was still a struggle. But I got it off, turned it around. It's on here real tight. So now I just have to put this plate back on. To get this on, you go like that. I'm putting the pin in just for the temporarily for a second. And this goes like that. It's a washer, a split ring, and a nut. And a washer on the other side, split ring, and the nut. And we're done. So that raised it up a couple of inches, I think. Hopefully, I won't be smashing the tongue area of the trailer on the ground. And if you're having the same problem, you can consider needing to do this.
So don't forget to subscribe or give me a thumbs up. Click on the bell, share with your friends, or leave comments and questions below.